Now that we've learned a little bit about Mexican artist Frida Kahlo, we are going to try our hand at drawing a portrait of her. She was very well known for her portraits, and most especially her self-portraits. And I have a drawing guide here to help me along, and I'm going to leave it in view so you can use it to reference as well. Her style of art was considered folk art, but she was a painter more than a drawer. So this is going to be a little bit different, and it's not completely in her style. Hers was a little bit more of a realistic folk art, and this is a little more whimsical folk art. To start, we're going to make a large U on our paper. I am using a Sharpie, but I think a pencil is a better choice for you so that you have the option to erase. After I have my face, I'm going to draw the tops of her eyes. Then we can finish drawing those eyes by finishing the shape and adding the irises and the pupils. Now in this guide, it's having me draw the nose by connecting the points, the corners of the eyes and making this shape. But just like any directed drawing, you do not have to do it the exact way that it is said. This is a guide, but it's not a rule. You can make your face look different if you would like to. But I am going to follow that kind of eye to eye, and you just add the nostrils at the bottom. And then for her mouth, you make the top like that. And over here, we're at step 4. We can make the rest of her mouth. We're also going to add eyelids here. And her ears. Now when you're making a self-portrait, if you're paying attention to proportions, ears really do start at your eye level and go down all the way to the bottom of your nose. A lot of people draw their ears really small when they're drawing them, but that is a much more realistic proportion. Add some eyelashes. Okay, now it looks like we are drawing the neck. And you can make the neckline any way you want. I think I'm going to give her more of a V-neck for mine. And her eyebrows. She's very well known for her eyebrows because she has had nice, thick, distinctive eyebrows. And some people would describe them as a unibrow. I like to make them thicker at first, and then you can kind of connect them like Frida Kahlo had. And then her hair. She wore her hair up on her head a lot. So that's how we are drawing it here. She was also known for wearing flower crowns. So I'm going to draw that first. And that way it will be in the foreground or in the front part of my drawing. Sometimes if you make spirals, they can look like roses. That's a nice, simple folk arty way to make a flower. Add some leaf decorations in there. And now that I'm happy with the way that flower crown looks, I can draw the rest of her hair. So it comes down to about there. Same thing on this side. Draw the top of her head. And I'm going to give her a low bun. Oh, I didn't draw on these folk art style cheeks. If you'd like, you have the option to add some rosy cheeks. And then just some background. She had a lot of nature in her self-portraits, so you can add some of these lines just to kind of look like a nice detailed background. She really put a lot of details into her backgrounds. just some leaves. Okay, now that I am finished with the drawing portion, I am going to color it in. I am going to use crayons to color mine, and I'm really going to be paying attention to using different shading techniques, so using different colors and different pressure when I'm coloring. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Here is my finished portrait of Frida. Frida said, "I paint myself because I am so often alone and because I am the subject I know best." And she also said, "I paint flowers so they will not die." So here we have painted Frida. You can also try to paint yourself if you are the subject you know best. You can use the same style to create a picture of yourself. Here I have used some different blending of the crayons, and I also used in the background, I pressed hard and then medium and then light to make it have this kind of glowing effect. But I can't wait to see your own spin on this Frida Kahlo portrait. And please make sure that when you are finished, you are posting a picture of it in our Google Classroom.